get started.
Sit your ass down. Welcome. What the fuck?
I have to stand up. I cannot believe it. First episode back. I'm ready receiving this. Listen, everyone knows who they're here to watch. Actually, I talk to me like this. Listen, put some respect on my name.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. I know you missed us.
Come on.
More so me rather than him because you see his face all the time. But anyways, right? What's good, guys? How you guys feeling? What's really popping?
Come on.
Welcome back to Cr8V Conversations. Another episode where we bring you the best, the most exclusive news, value moments, viral moments, and all the moments that we're here to discuss. Okay, so it's your hostess with the mostest, Big Rose, Big Brr, and that guy over there.
That guy is called MDS, and you already know who I am. Your favorite creative, providing you content. It will be more consistent. We're working out a few logistics, but we're out here. Today, we're going to be talking about a few different things. I would just like to say thank you to all the people that have been supporting, liking, sharing, and subscribing.
Much love. Thanks, guys. We love it.
Exactly what she said. Make sure you keep doing it, please. And please keep it up, because without your support, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be doing this. Actually, no, I probably still would. Not going to lie, but the support is definitely still very much needed and wanted. So thank you very much. Today, we're going to be going through a couple things, but I hope everyone got to witness that parliamentary procedure yesterday. What a whooping. You know what? I'm going to say this right at the beginning. I am talking about...
honest?
What?
I didn't witness it.
Yeah. People, them man there. They're just there for the conversation. Hold on.
But...
No, you got nothing to say right now. You got nothing, right?
I actually do, because I like most things. I don't need to watch it. Social media is going to tell me what happened anyway.
If it was Anthony Joshua, would you have watched it?
No, because I didn't even watch that one either. Because why? Because social media told me what happened. Even though I already know what was going to happen, but social media just confirmed it, right?
It's different then. It's different to watching it though.
Cool. Same reason why I know that man's father was calling him out, saying that he ain't shit or whatever.
Who? Wait,
right?
Eubanks. No, it wasn't saying
the guy that won.
Yeah.
The fight. His dad.
No, he was saying that the rules.
No, but the previous fight before that, was he not saying that his son ain't shit?
No, he was saying that. No, he was saying that the way his son's going about, let's say, what they're doing. Yes, I'm applying that lip balm. Hold on. You get it's juicy for you lot.
Again, you can't be trying bears with dry lips. You got to pattern up.
They were not dry. Or to add extra glisten to them. They need to be glistening. Pause.
He knew what we were going to record, so I don't know. I don't know.
I wanted it to be extra glistening for you lot. No diddy. Do you know? You know what? He's
not helping his case.
Basically, no. The whole things with Eubank Sr. and Eubank Jr. In my opinion, yes, it did make the fight, but watching it and seeing, I don't know, just seeing two men get in the ring and just combat each other. Not just two men, they're family members. And they were able to get into the ring with each other and engage in competition.
What's their relationship?
They're family.
They're fine.
Cousins, I guess.
They're cousins. You guess.
They're cousins. So they're cousins. And plus, their fathers also fought when they were younger. So Eubank Sr. and Ben.
So it's like a full circle moment.
Yeah, basically. So it's more than just two men getting in the ring to fight. Yeah, there's no titles and like people were saying, but at the end of the day, they still managed to pick those gloves up and uphold the legacy, which is important, which is something I don't feel like a lot of people were realizing what was happening. Even when the way Eubank Sr. signed off, he finished off with a Rastafari. Everyone's saying, everyone just getting gas because he managed, but he finished off with a Rastafari. But it's more than that. He took his culture, he's taken it out there, he's put it on the main screen, and he's allowed it to, and he's put it on a platform. He's put his whole culture on a platform just from his son being able to get into the ring, and I guess prove himself, which in my opinion, I always knew was going to happen. All of you that thought Conor Benn was going to win, I'm not going to lie, you clearly don't know boxing. Yeah, Ben's a good fighter and whatnot, but this is Eubank still talking about.
If I had intentions to watch it, then I'll have more to say. But honestly, I don't think the fight was promoted enough, because I didn't even know there was a fight going on until it was actually happening.
All right, then, how about this then? Did you hear about the supposed, was meant to happen but isn't happening, Spray and Pound Sterling fight?
Absolutely not. No.
See, this is what I mean. Like, that's something else that would have been good for the culture. I mean, obviously, we know it's not happening anymore because of, logistics and whatnot. In my opinion, I thought it was never going to happen in the first place. I feel like just a whole bunch of talking. Not saying that them on a chatty patch, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day,
but is it something that people actually want to see, though?
Most definitely. What? Pound Sterling and Spray? It's like taking the beef off the streets and putting it somewhere where it actually matters. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
they wasn't on the streets anyway. I'm sure these are both podcasters right now.
No, Young Spray and Pound Sterling, they're trench babies. Oh, you don't know who they are, though?
I mean, yeah, but for the camera right now, they're podcast people.
Yeah, but they still obviously, how man them
outside of camera, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know how man them are, though. That's what I mean. Like, even though they're podcasting right now, they still have it's men in general. They still want to uphold that image. Even though me personally, I don't really feel like those images are anything to even want to or uphold or anything that you'd want to uphold, because it's quite shameful, because you can't do anything with it. You can't do anything with badness. You know what I mean? It doesn't improve the community. It doesn't elevate anyone. It just puts people down. It puts people in situations to put themselves down in as well. But for them to get in the ring now and be able to resolve their differences, that would have been different for the culture. Could you imagine? Could you imagine them saying, right, we're beefing out here?
I'm all here for people getting in the ring.
100%.
Especially when it comes to transforming like something negative into something quote unquote positive, I guess. So obviously it can.
Why do you say quote unquote?
Because the source of the fight was out of negativity, and it could become a positive outcome. Obviously, they still might not fuck with each other after that, but do you know what I mean? At least the outcome is positive from the viewer's perspective. So it is what it is.
Wait, but they're not going to. All right, so then let me say this, right? So then now, the whole reason why they wanted to beef and whatnot was, yeah, there was back and forths, but then Pound Sterling offers 20k for them to beef. You know, the money thing comes in, which I'm saying, cool.
Okay.
But then Spray says that's not enough. So then now 100 bags is put on the table.
Okay.
And then Pound Sterling says he doesn't want to fight. Now, a lot of people are saying that Pound Sterling has ducked the fight, even though he's the one who suggested it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Pound Sterling is saying, I offered him 20k, he didn't take it. That was my offer. I'm not now going to take 100k offer from like a Misfits boxing or whatnot to then come and do this fight in Dubai and whatnot, because that's not the offer that I made. I put 20k on the table. He said no, he wants more money. That's end of. Do you feel like that's Pound Sterling pulling away from what he initially said he was going to do? Because some people are saying because he's scared, or do you feel like it's a case of he made an offer, a man didn't take it, he's not going to then go take someone else's offer? Do you feel like it's justifiable? Do you feel like if you offered someone out, and the person now accepts it, you should then take it?
No, because look, at the end of the day, someone can make an offer. You can either the person rejected his offer, right?
He rejected the 20k offer because it wasn't enough, because he said 20k is chicken shit.
And how long did he came back? How long did it take for him to come back?
Bouncer came back and said I put 100k down.
How long did that take?
For like a couple of days.
A couple of days.
Yeah.
And then after that, he turned it down.
Yeah, and then after that, Pound Sterling goes, "Oh, I train with Mrs. people. If I wanted to organize that, I could." Now
he's chatting a bunch of fucking.
That's what I was gonna say. If that was the case, then the 100k offer would have been the first offer rather than the 20k, because then. But
at the end of the day, peas is peas. If someone says, "Look, well, here's 20, yeah, but actually, fuck that, 20 is not enough. Here's 100, yeah. Let's actually make this some real shit. Like, let's actually make this an exclusive fight, yeah. You train up your people, I train up my people, Like, that's when things should really got the ball rolling." He's like, "Raw, you're serious, yeah? You said 20k is not enough, so here what? I put 100 on top, etc." But this is the thing, though. People will do things thinking that people won't like. If you zig, you think people won't zag.
Very true, yeah. So he wasn't expecting him to come back. So you're saying that it's him chickening out. Well, it seems like he's chickening out. I don't even say he is.
It seems like it. Regardless, that's what the outcome looks like. You made a big bold statement that you want to beef somebody, yeah, and put money on top. Then he said, "Here, what? Fuck that local change, yeah. Here's 100 on top." Now what are you saying? Now you ain't saying shit. So come like
it's like
nothing
Eubank
was to be said in the first place. Get it? So that's what the viewers are gonna say. But then again, unless you fight for your respect, then there's no respect now.
It's like Eubank saying to Ben, "Oh, I don't want to fight because you have to dehydrate or whatnot." And then to say, for him to say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to shed the weight," but then when it gets to having to shed the weight, him saying, "Oh, I'm not going to fight anymore because it's a bit too rigorous," he basically said, "Nah, I'm still going to do it." Watch the mic, because you have to take off the mic and readjust it. Yeah. Are you trying to show off the fit? Listen, I don't know.
You know I'll be showing off the fits all the time. Okay, so
I don't know why she came out here trying to
so we got the little juicy couture or whatever, you know what I'm saying, little cutesy. So I was really feeling black today. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, cool. So, sometimes you just have to get around your purse. Let the man hold your purse. Okay. Cool.
Sling it over your shoulder like a duffel, though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Can't be holding that.
You know. This is what I call a very casually. Okay, I just threw this shit on. Okay, I just threw it on.
You're chatting bad, man. You're chatting bad. What you mean?
Threw it on. Okay,
listen,
just put that shit on.
She looks alright.
Listen, literally, I just got up.
And she said, "Well, listen, you see what I mean? Obviously, I had to come here and shine for you. She's out here trying upstage, man. Give man the purse to hold as well. Stick this over my shoulder like a duffel." But But yeah, no, like you were saying, I agree. If it was culturally, if it was for the culture, then really and truly, them man should have got into the ring. I really feel that it would have benefited the culture in the long run. It could have started something.
What? So you telling me 2 people missed out on 100K? What the fuck?
Just to scrap in the ring. I'm not gonna lie. Fair dues, these men have money, but 100K, you could have put that back into the community, or you could have used that to start something. Because the general consensus between these men is, actually between, not, I wouldn't say Young Spray. Young Spray is Young Spray. You know what I mean? He does what he does. But with Power Sterling is he's trying to impact and change the community and whatnot, and I guess impact the youth. Because the whole point of this whole conversation came up was, I think his son must have said something to him about this whole situation, so he felt like he had to respond. And this was the response, you know what I mean? The initial battle thing. Yeah, so now, my thing is, for you to chicken out now, yeah, I'm going to say it seems like you're chickening out, even though it's not the case, but for you to suggest...
You just said it is for you to chicken out now. You said it seems like it. No,
yeah, for you to fall back.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, she basically said, yeah, you've dug a hole now, which in my opinion is going to be a tough one to get out of. Really and truly, the only way to get out of it is to then have the fight, you know what I mean? But, what can I say? Someone just be talking. But, in other news, AI...
That's like me saying I'm going to the party, and then that's like me saying I'm going to the party, but I ain't got nothing to wear yet. Oh, but here's an outfit. So I got a whole outfit. I know the location, but I'm still not trying to go.
She's definitely going.
I really never wanted to go in the first place.
She's definitely still going to the motive. Don't even follow. She's definitely still going to the motive. Don't even listen to her.
We've got our friend. Will she come say hello to us? Nah.
Probably not. In his own world.
It's a she.
Yeah, you can see it actually. Shout out all the doggos out there. But AI taking over the world. The robots coming out. Have you not seen the robot dogs? The new AI agents. Have you been using AI actually? Because I
haven't been using AI enough. I need to be using some AI. Shit.
What have you been using AI for recently? Actually, that's a big question I want to ask. I want to ask everyone. Everyone, put it down in the comments as well. What have you been using AI for? Because for me, I've been using it to do my business plan, to help with business structures. It's like having another you to talk to, but you with all the insight in the world that you could possibly have. I feel like it's the best way to, I guess, bounce a question off of yourself, but logically, rather than it just being speculatively. Like, for example, I know I've got a lot of ideas, but to make those ideas concrete, like a lot of it has to be situated within, I guess, reality in a sense. And AI does help with that, and it makes it a lot easier to, I guess, consolidate and put things in a way where not only you can understand, but other people can, and you can show it to other people. Because I realize in this day and age, the time that we're living in, there's a lot of room and there's a lot of, I guess, space, not only for innovation in the community, but for you to start your own thing to then impact your community. Because a lot of us, we feel like, my business has to make money for me, or my business has to do this and this and this for me. What we don't realize is that at the end of the day, we're more than just us. We're going to need the community, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given.
However, a lot of people are saying that AI is kind of taken away from the whole experience aspect, but...
Yeah, because why the fuck, I want to speak to customer service, bitch, and then all I hear is, dial 1, dial 2, dial whatever the fuck.
That's AI as well.
And that's what I'm saying.
But you need that,
want to speak to somebody.
But even with that, it's not like you're gonna... That's not gonna make no difference though. I tell you what, the computer will probably do a better job by giving you information than the person live.
No.
Definitely.
No. I've just waited 20 minutes on the phone for you to tell me to do some shit online that I want to speak to somebody about.
Yeah. But then at the same time, you could just ask the machine. Let's say, for example, like now they have...
Do I want to ask the machine, or do I want to speak to a fucking customer service representative?
It would give you better information than the person, guaranteed. All the time. I guarantee.
Really?
100%.
Okay, well...
Because as far as I'm concerned, when I ask my ChatGPT or I ask my...
Yeah, but that's you asking ChatGPT. That's not you asking dial tone 3 what's happening. Dial tone 3 isn't telling you shit. But you gotta wait to speak to a person.
That's early AI though. That's different though. That's different.
To speak to somebody.
So you'd rather the logistics of a company to be a person taking care of it because they give you the right information.
Yes, because
or a machine that's capable.
How is someone going to empathize with me the fact that you guys have just tried to take money from me that I already fucking paid for?
Do you not believe machines can empathize?
No, because then if they could fucking empathize, then they would be fucking human, wouldn't they?
All right then. So then what part of us, or what part of human empathy makes a human human? Tom, could you define that? Because
first of all, a robot doesn't have a heart. Okay, everything is programmed.
What defines a heart?
Again,
okay,
what the fuck do you mean what defines a heart?
People are programmed too.
Okay, but not as a fucking robot. If I dash some water on you right now, you're gonna malfunction.
Yeah. Bro, why are you dousing me for?
Anyway, right. Point being, is you need to have for example, you can literally have a whole conversation with AI, right?
Yeah.
But then it's gonna ask you about how you feel rather than AI. It can't feel shit. It can talk about facts. It can talk about logistics. It can talk about things that are like very evident, but it can't identify feelings or how to feel, right?
So let me pose this question to you then, right? So you're saying that the machines can't think, feel, empathize the way that we can.
No, it's like
If
imagine
you teach
if somebody's rose could feel how they're making. But imagine, right?
But that's
it will be different. It will be different.
I'm sure the rose. Hey, listen. What would the rose say? I'm drowning, probably. Like, I'm telling you, yeah, I'm drowning. Well, give me a break. Give me a break. You say, give me a break, please. I give me a moment. Let me just catch my breath. No, that's funny. That's funny. They need to make AI roses. That'll be lit. That'd actually be lit. You know what? See, that's a good for a robot. So I tell you what. Does that not have a? Oh no, I can't. If that had a feeling, or it makes you feel good, right? Okay, it makes women feel good. It makes women feel good, right?
Okay.
Let me not generalize. It makes women feel good, right?
Okay.
So then, in a sense, human empathy makes other people feel good because it gives a level of understanding. The rose understands how to make you feel good. Now, I'm not saying that's human, but I'm just saying it fulfills its purpose and it fulfills it well without any complications.
Don't know about
so.
That, but okay.
For the majority, it fulfills.
I mean, I wouldn't know,
it fulfills the. It fulfills the general. For the majority, it fulfills the general feeling. So a lot of people say that, right? You know what? Despite it being a machine, it will probably do a better job than a human being because I don't vibrate like that. So damn, I ain't. No, I'm not saying obviously.
That's so funny.
You know what I mean? So it's like obviously it's fulfilling a job in the best way it can. The same way a human being may not.
The best way that is programmed to.
Yeah, but people are the exact same way as well. People are programmed to act in a certain way. Yes, they are.
No, because we're not fucking robots.
Maybe
you can
not
try
generally.
to program somebody. Like for example, you going to school is you being educated. Another person can say that's
you went far. What about you
programmed.
going from a baby to then being able to go to school, ages 1 to 6, which are the crucial ages of a child's growth? It's something. All my time in education
program
and
your child.
Yes, you do.
To walk
from the age. Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes they learn on their own. Obviously, they
through
get support.
Yeah, through programming.
Because
they have to see it first. All right. Basically, children are the biggest computers or the best computers ever. That's what AI. AI is basically a child, literally.
Programming. Okay, cool. So look, that's why I use the school analogy because you're not saying that you went to school to be programmed. You're saying you went to school to be taught. Okay, so therefore. You have
that's programming.
No, it's not programming.
To teach something is to program something.
No, but to teach something, for someone to teach something, that means the other recipient has to learn something. Okay,
correct.
You can teach things without you actually learning and shit. But do you understand?
No, but computers don't know what to do. You have to program them. You have to teach them to do it. And then do it faster.
Programming something, that's a physical act of you actually putting in a program for it to manifest a certain function. Right? Okay. So that is all done very strategically.
Cool.
That's planned, okay? Same way you plan a lesson, right? You can't plan what the fuck you learn. Do you understand?
You can.
No, the fuck you can't.
You can plan the outcome. You can plan the outcome of the learning. You can plan the outcome. Even though it might not be exact, I get what you're saying. It might not be exact, but you can plan the outcome or what you expect to come from what you're about to teach. However, with a robot, the outcome is absolute because you've taught it exactly how to do something. And it's going to do that perfectly every single time to how you taught it. For example, if I taught it how to cut grass, exactly how I taught it to cut grass, it's going to cut grass every single time, 100% of the time. Actually, you know what?
99.99. Now you should stick to your word program because you programmed it to cut grass in that specific way. Right? Whereas now, if you teach me how to cut grass, right, I know how to cut grass, but I might decide to go like this way instead of this way. I might fucking cut my name in the motherfucking grass. The robot ain't doing that shit. The robot is gonna go exactly the way that you programmed it to go.
Argument for the comments. Is programming teaching or is it just programming? In my eyes, I feel like I think programming
is more structured.
I think it's to teach.
Less flexible. Teaching, you can learn something and then the world's your oyster with
Why would you say programming is not as structured as teaching?
I said it's more structured.
It's more. Why? Why would you say that? Is it because it's absolute or is it because you're only teaching in one thing?
Like, for example, it's kind of like it's it's like almost one-dimensional because you're making it like the same thing. You taught the robot how to fucking cut grass, right? There's going to be limitations to, like, for example, you can cut up to this parameter here, and this is a certain direction that you're meant to go, or the certain technique that you're supposed to use, etc. However, now a human being doing it, myself doing it, I can do what the fuck I want to do. You taught me how to the skill of how to cut the grass, but in the way that I do it, that's completely up to me. That's my freedom. That's my expression. That's something that AI won't be able to fucking do. You have to program that expression. Do you understand?
Fair dues, fair dues. You know what? All right, I get that. There's no imagination to how the machine is consuming the information. I get that. Cool. So you would say that the whole imagination aspect, or the uniqueness of how a human being learns something and does something and how they're taught something, is what makes us different to the machine. Okay, I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie, because when I say that to people, people are like, "Oh no, really and truly, a machine is just a person." Well, then I told them a machine can only do it. Yeah, it can do lots, but it only does it one way. It does it one way only, because it's programmed how to do it. It's not gonna do, like you said, it's not gonna cut grass 5 different ways. I might cut grass one way one time,
unless you program it to type shit.
True, exactly that. But that's another whole teaching thing. But then we're gonna return back to the whole teaching and taught thing. But then you're gonna agree with me on that one. With the grass, if I was to cut this grass, the first time I cut it isn't gonna be exactly the same time the second time. So it's more. I get what you mean. Okay, I get that. So the question that's currently plaguing everyone's mind: AI, good or bad? AI, will it take people's job? And AI, can you involve it in your lives, and how? I've said yes. I'm using it for my business plan. Yeah. It's helping me with structuring my days, the AI agents and whatnot. So yeah. In terms, do you feel like it's going to take people's jobs? And
probably depends if their jobs can be took. Some
jobs can be taken.
No, I don't think so.
What jobs do you think are going to be actually not?
I don't think. I think definitely you can use it to obviously benefit your whatever you got going on, whether it's like a business situation going on, whether it's like a educational situation going on, like use it to help you in that kind of way, right? But when it comes to the actual job industry in that world, I feel like they will try to find those industries where people are less valued, or they don't really need people that much. If a robot can function, like for example, back in the days, like when people used to have like little tedious jobs in like factories and stuff, and now you got the robots doing it, right? So those kind of things there, where you've got a human obviously doing something, doing a function that actively you can program a robot to do. If that's the case, and then they've got the funding to do that, they're all going to do that. Is what it is. I feel like in terms of even a drive-through. I feel like a drive-through eventually they're not even gonna have we're not gonna have no people in the window no more. I feel like you're just gonna have
the machine.
You order what the fuck you want, and then you might have somebody. If you're lucky, you might have a person in there making the burger. But if we get to that point in time where there's no people making the burgers anymore, then I don't know what to tell you.
Have you heard about the new factories in China? No lights, no nothing, just robots.
Yeah, but listen, China's a whole different world compared to the UK. Like,
China's the future.
They live in the future over there.
I hope everyone understands that China is the future. Everything that you see happening in China, bear in mind, remember.
And Japan, they're in the future.
Shenzhen as well, I'm not going to lie. They're one of those countries where they realize that this is how it's going to be. Let's start getting our people used to it. Yeah, it's a bit crazy when you see how the people are living and whatnot. You hear about all their ghost cities and whatnot, but I feel like they've set themselves They've set themselves up for a time that their people are going to understand all the use cases and the reasons to have these, I guess, machines working with them. However, like you said, it taken away from people might be the thing that breaks society down, which is what I'm worried about.
I don't know, but
hold on. Before you land, because the recession that's happening right now, a lot of people aren't realizing
that we're in a recession.
We're in more than a recession. The world is actually peak. I've been analyzing prices and my spending. A lot of people know my spending is disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. I need to have...
y'all.
Oh, what? No, wait.
Listen, next week.
You already know. So I feel like I've been looking at... I've been looking at how the economy is going, and I've been looking at how spending has changed. Like before, food shopping, let's say food shopping. Basically, I'm one person. gym and whatnot in the lab. Listen, I was thinking about whether to go vest on or vest off. You know what? Before the end, you know, I might get a cameo. Do you know what I mean? You might get a side angle, front shot, back shot, no diddy. No, you know what?
Wow! Whoa! Whoa! Just stay in your shame for a minute.
I didn't mean
okay.
It. I did.
Move on because
I didn't. Wow. Yeah, you know what? Let's just forget about that one. That's just. That's just absolutely thrown me. That's just absolutely thrown. I even forgot where I was. God damn it. Oh yeah, economy. So it's gotten to a point where I've realised that how you would spend the £20 you would have spent a year ago is now £40, which is crazy. That shouldn't be the case. If you think about what happened during COVID, really and truly, people had more time and they didn't really have to spend
on anything. Can I just say
something?
Why the fuck are tampons so expensive?
It's not just that, no. So you're going tissue paper.
What the fuck?
Just toilet paper in general. Remember during the pandemic when people were buying like 50 or 60 different rolls of toilet paper? That's not how it's working now. Before a £6 pack is now £9. Now listen, maybe that might be me because I'm a bit bougie.
Can we talk about how nothing in Poundland's a pound anymore?
Yeah, it is. You must be thinking about pound stretchers. You want Poundland, the actual Poundland, the green one.
Nothing's a pound anymore.
Yeah, no, majority of stuff's a pound. They've managed to sneak in £2 stuff. I don't know how they got away with that. £2 stuff should not be in pound shop. That's a heresy. I don't know who allowed that. Who even said that should even be a thing. But I think that's failed advertisement. And really and truly, I feel like I deserve some of my money back for spending £2 in the pound shop.
It's whatever. It is what it is.
But do you feel like the recession is going to get the ghost recession? I'm calling it a ghost recession because I don't think people actually understand what is going on with the economy and how things are going to change when AI fully hits. We've got about another 4 years, I think, before AI is in every single part and aspect of our communities. Even now, like I've told people, I'm using AI to help me build my business. Before, you'd have to go and find a business analyst or you'd have to go and find someone with experience to then give you the insights. Yes, I have access to that, but now I also have access to something that can take my ideas and place it exactly where I want it to be and also teach me how I can then start to implement that. A lot of people didn't have that. So even though we might be saying, recession's coming, AI is coming, people are going to suffer, I feel like if people put themselves in a position to, I guess, learn and benefit from AI and use that in a way to, I guess, uplift themselves, then the way people receive and the way people talk about AI and the change that's coming would probably be a lot different. And I feel like people would be a lot more accepting of the fact that change is inevitable. Do you know what I mean? It's not something that you can escape. It's not something that you can, I guess, shy away from. It's something that's always going to be, recession or not. Do you feel like people are going to be ready for it, or do you feel like people are willing to get ready for this, I guess, drastic change that's going to happen in the next 4 years? Because no one's talking about a recession. I mean, a few people are, but it's not really at the top of everyone's list. I feel like everyone's so stressed out that they're kind of like, you know what, even if I ain't got the peas, what am I going to do with it? Go to a brunch or something, you know what I mean? Brunch is lit.
I think...
That's right, yeah. In fact, you know what? The next person to say that going to a brunch is sassy, meet me around the corner, we can scrap it out. We can actually scrap it out. Because I went to a sip and paint, and a man's telling me, bro, that's sassy. Is sip and paint sassy? Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Who did you go with?
Huh?
Who did you go with?
So. Some
liquid courage, okay?
Sip and paint.
He can't even get his words out. Who the fuck did you go with?
So sip and
okay, so he was sipping. Yeah, more than painting, clearly, because he's stuttering.
Sip and paint was
like, crazy.
I feel like a lot of activities need to be unisexed. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like anyone should be allowed to go and enjoy a hearty brunch and a little paint. I feel like Picasso and Future at the same time. Call me baby Pluto. Did that one on purpose.
Sorry, you didn't answer the question. But anyway.
I definitely did. I definitely did.
So, regardless, brunches are cool, man. Brunches are cool. Daytime drinking, some food, some vibes. Why not? But I think
it's not just a daytime drinking. It's the daytime enjoyment. Or just being out in the sun.
Definitely, it's a vibe. Do you know what I mean? Because why the fuck not? And I think if you got some good, like, cool people to go with, then like, what's the issue?
That's true. And it's a vibe, so it's easy to communicate and whatnot. And it's just a good environment to be in. But talking on change, today's subject, I know the news bit was a bit large. I hope you enjoyed that. But talking on today's subject, it's going to be change. Drastic change. I know we've just spoken about how things are changing in terms of society, how people view things, how people see things. which I think is crucial and important. I feel like your life in general won't change unless you're able to, I guess, change your perspective on certain things. Like, as people, we can only expect certain things to happen because we always want the best for ourselves and the people around us, right?
Right.
But I feel like sometimes it's hard for people to accept the fact that in changing, you're going to have to accept or be able to
Speaking
get
of
past
change,
certain
how's
things.
you? Have you liked? Have you subscribed? Have you shared? If not, do that right motherfucking right now. Like that shit. Subscribe to this shit.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe. But she's done that right in the middle of the monologue. I was about to go into the whole.
And what?
And you.
And what?
We can scrap it out right now.
Nothing.
I'll do you like Eubank Stunt Ben. I'll do you like Eubank Stunt Ben right now. Listen.
Was that your intimidation?
I was saying that.
Anyways, back to monologuing. Go ahead.
I've forgotten a majority of it anyway, but change. I feel like you've got to be able to accept that change is going to take a bit of humility and a bit of realization. For example, I know a lot of people know that I used to work in education and whatnot. Yes, now I kind of do, but it's more self-employed, and I'm allowed to be more flexible with what I do. Everyone knows that my passion is working with young people and ensuring that they're able to have enjoyment. In this life, you must have enjoyment. That is the most crucial thing. And also, when you're young, that's the time for you to, I guess, enjoy the ability of that freedom of being able to go and freely experience something without any biases and nuances. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, as a child, I feel like children are able to go into any environment, and like, say for example, they're able to go to a park, and they're not going into the park thinking, oh, maybe today I'm not going to be able to have fun. They're thinking, right, I'm going to the park, I'm going to meet new people, I'm going to get to climb that, I'm going to get to climb that, I'm going to get to run around, I'm going to get to do whatever and whatnot. But as adults, whenever we're stepping into an environment, we go in there with our preconceptions. We're thinking, all right, cool. If I go to this motive, who's going to be there? What are they going to be wearing? What am I going to be wearing? Are people going to like what I'm wearing? Or, damn, I wonder how people are going to be looking at me. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I not? I feel like when you're younger, those things don't weigh as heavy on your mind. But as you get older,
no, because you're not in your ego. I mean, this
That's
generation definitely are, but fuck, when we was younger, what the fuck? I didn't even know what ego was.
I'm going to be but that's because I feel like of the whole exposure thing, right? So for me, when it comes to the whole ego thing, I feel like being able to see...
Like yesterday, my ego was on the floor.
Why? Now I want to know now. Why?
Like, my ego was on the floor because I'm just like...
Tell a story. Tell a story, I'm here for it.
Well, I'm someone, like, I really like to give, like, especially when it's, like, somebody's, like, kids kind of thing.
Tell them.
So, like, if I'm in a position where I can't give as much as I want to, like, that will fucking piss me off. Like, that will proper bug me. And so that was bugging me, as well as, like, other, like, outside stuff and stuff. So at this point, I don't even know what the fuck I'm wearing. I'm already stressed out. I don't even know what to wear. So now I'm like, okay, shit. I'm just gonna have to throw something on. And I just thrown something on. It's just like, bro, like, I've seen, like, how many times I'm gonna wear this outfit? Like, I need to go shopping. So then you have your whole little midlife crisis in your head, and then you're like, okay, shit, but now I still gotta show up. I'm barely showing up for myself right now, but I still fucking gotta show up. Cool. So I show up now, but now when you show up, everyone knows that you're not your fucking self.
Yeah, of course.
So they're like, oh, you okay? Is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
Just enjoying.
I'm fine. I'm fine. So yeah, so then I was like, nah, like, you just know when you're not feeling yourself like that. Like, so it's just like, yo, like, my ego is not there right now. Because when you're in your ego, you can operate with a bit more confidence. Like, you can even if you're not exactly where you want to be right now in this particular moment, your ego definitely masks that. You can definitely operate in your ego, and no one will know what kind of things you got going on. But the moment your ego's on the floor, you can't hide from shit anymore. You just gotta be there, raw or vulnerable in that.
But that's life, though.
Emotion.
That's life. In fact,
that's life. But doesn't mean to say it feels good. Doesn't mean to say that it's nice. Doesn't mean to say that you know how to function. Like, in, like, people, like, for example, when I feel like that, I'm usually, I know how to function like that by myself. I don't know how to function like that around people and still be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? So that was really, really.
People with your feelings.
I fucking don't. Like, I'd rather not be there. But I know in those moments when you're expected to show up, you have to show up regardless of how you feel.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I feel like as you get older, you start to realize that, you know what? Understanding is important, and you have to be able to have a bit of humility. Like, even me, a lot of my guys will say, bro, where have you been for the past 5 years? Like, that's another thing. Like, exactly like you said, changing careers and whatnot, changing life, put me in a position where I wasn't in the same position where I was before, where I could do anything I wanted to do. I had to have a bit of restrictions, even though I will still try, because that's just life. That's just how I live. Do you know what I mean? You must have enjoyment. However, I had to tone it back a little bit to the point where the guys are like, oh, bro, we ain't seen you at every motives, from going out every single weekend, even a Thursday. Yeah, you might even see me out on a Thursday. Do you know what I mean? But now it's a case of, bro, we don't see deals at any motives. What do you mean? What do you mean deals is coming out? He's not coming out. Even when they invite me somewhere, they say, yeah, I'm coming. It's like, yeah, he's just saying that. We ain't going to see him. But I feel like it gets to a point where you kind of have to find yourself, which is where it goes back to that whole change thing. Yeah, you might feel like, you aren't yourself, but that might be a case of, right, you're stepping into a new part of yourself where you realize, right, the way I've been living, the things I've been doing, I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, that's growth. That's life. That's change.
To live is to suffer, do you know what I mean? And to suffer is to learn, to do new things, and to do things better. Because if you don't experience...
Which you know better, you do better. If you don't know better, you still do the same shit.
Exactly
man. I do the same shit because I know better type shit.
Exactly that. So you have to... I feel like you kind of have to go through these... Even though you wouldn't want to, you have to go through those experiences, I guess, to kind of understand yourself as a person.
It'll be growing pains and stuff.
That's life, though. I had that. Like I said, changed my career. I want to go and do things. I could, but I know, me personally, I'm not in the same position I was in before to go and have that maximum enjoyment. If I can't do something to the fullest, I'm just not going to do it. That's just the kind of person I am. If I can't enjoy it the way I'm going to, then I'm just going to leave it behind.
I think that's a good mindset to have, to be fair. I feel like...
Yes, but then what is that enjoyment? What is that enjoyment that we're seeking?
That's down to you. That's up to you to fucking measure that. No one else can measure that for you.
Okay then, so...
That's like measuring happiness. No one else can measure that for you.
Coming off of that, how would you then define life? What gives life meaning?
Life is what you motherfucking make it. Life could be ain't shit. That's because you ain't making it shit.
True.
Life could be amazing. That's because you're making it amazing.
So let's say, for example, right, I was teaching, I was content. I was doing what I enjoyed, but I wasn't doing it how I wanted to. It was more or less a case of, I'm in an environment that I want to be in. So that's enough. However, the enough bit was the bit that was killing me, because I knew that there could have always been more.
So therefore it was never enough.
There you go. But what I'm doing now,
it was?
Because like I said, I was comfortable, I was content, I was earning enough, I could live life, I could live well. Yes, I may not have been doing what I wanted to do, but I was comfortable. There you go, as Future would say, don't get too comfortable. I'm trying not to swear. This one over here, the queen of profanity. Absolute potty mouth over here. Oh my God. I actually leave them potty mouth for that. Don't worry, we'll get some soap. We'll get some soap. But yeah, for me, I feel like I forgot what I was now. Damn, that's the memory of a goldfish. But yeah, no, change. What life's meant. There we go. What life means. I feel like what life meant to me then isn't the same as now, because now I'm in the environment, still working with kids, but I'm teaching sports myself. I can structure things myself, and I'm able to implement things I know is going to work. Like, for example, I want to start a youth initiative, the rise of the youth activists, my people. I'm out here. You're going to see every community. You're going to see us in every single community. Creative Youth coming very soon. First one's happening this summer. We are going to be everywhere. You're going to be tired of my face. But you know what? The kids are going to be happy. That's the most important thing, to be honest, because they are the future. But yeah, I realized that the meaning to life is you finding purpose in the things that you enjoy and you love. There you go. It's you finding purpose in the things that you enjoy and you love. Once you found that, no matter where you are, you could be on the streets. And I tell you what, as long as you're doing something that you enjoy, you're going to love it. You could have one leg. Bear in mind, you know what? Shout out to all my one-legged people out there. Do you know what I mean? I know you're still living life, but you could have one leg and you would still feel content, because even though you might be missing something, you're gaining so much more from an outside environment. And to me, that's what the meaning of life is, in a sense. Is you being able to find your purpose in what you enjoy and what you love, and being able to do that every single day.
So what if you don't find it?
That's what I thought.
What if you don't find it? What if you're just living every day?
That's what I
haven't found it, just existing.
That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be too late. I thought I was going to be like 40 or 50, discovering my dream and whatnot. But then I thought to myself, I said, why do I feel like that? And I realized, because I'm rushing once again. I'm chasing that comfortability that I had. It's like, for people who don't know, they wouldn't have a need to feel in that way. Because I look at the homeless people on the street. I feel like if they knew a high extent of living, they wouldn't want to live like that. But to them, that's their norm. So
but
they're fine with it.
They probably have experienced that, and then they've hit rock bottom. And some people stay at rock bottom. It becomes
their norm, though. But that's becomes
and
norm.
Say, look, end of the day, people can have. Some people put themselves in positions where they can't be helped anymore, and then it is what it is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's people that have
everyone can be helped. Everyone can be helped. Everyone can be helped
if they want to be helped. There's people that have lived, like, for example, we don't know how that homeless person got there. We don't know how that person became a crackhead. During the day, but in the day, they might choose that life.
It was
I'm still talking. They might choose that life. Okay?
Oh my
and they might
God.
Choose to
continue
that life.
How
right?
Dare you?
However, they found that to be
let's have some parliamentary procedure. You know what I mean?
They found that to be more peaceful. Whatever that looks like to us, that'd be like, ain't no fucking way. But to them, that's their comfort and that's their peace. But each to their own. However, to get them back into society, they might just say, raw, fuck all of that, because the life that I'm living right now is peaceful. It might be something that we would never do as people that are in mainstream society, as people that have, places to go, people that care about us and stuff like that, yeah? But once you become someone that becomes forgotten about, right, sometimes they would just rather do that. I have a story, right, where I know someone that they used to just buy this homeless person coffee, right, and then just be like, look, like here's some money or whatever, and they wouldn't even want it to do whatever you would think that they want to do with it, right? He just wanted to have a little coffee conversation and just keep it pushing. End of the day, people genuinely will do what they want to do, or they do what they feel that they are will to do in their spirit, what they can do. Like, for example, if you choose to get up today, that's because it's in your will. Like, you got the strength to do it. Not everybody has the strength to do that. Not everybody has the strength to choose themselves, right? So they just do, and they live in autopilot, and it just is where it is. I would love to help those people, but end of the day, do they want to help themselves? We don't know. We see. But end of the day, I feel like there should be more, like, as much as we pay taxes and stuff, there should be more facilities to help actually, like, get these crackheads off of the fucking street, bro. Like, rehabilitation.
But what is rehabilitation, though?
Like, you see how you have, like, look, those people that just, like, those random pop-ups that will go to an area, they'll pop up, ask you for some money. There needs to be a pop-up rehabilitation thing where crackers would just walk in.
It's cool. Oh, there are actual centers like that.
I'm not talking about centers. I'm talking about you randomly go to the station one day and all of a sudden there's a rehabilitation hub right there.
I get what you mean. So, right? Like, they're going to different areas that they know there's a high effect or high density.
Yeah, like, for example, I'm cutting 2 bricks in, and next thing you know, I just see one big tent, and then there's a line of crackheads going in there to get rehabilitated.
Fair dues. But then do you feel like, in order for someone to be rehabilitated, you have to rehabilitate it? That sounds like I was from the depths of East London. Sounded like Bianca from EastEnders, right? Do you feel like for someone, or not even do you feel like, I feel like in order for someone to be rehabilitated, you have to want to be. And that's hard because...
Listen, it is what it is. I've never been a crack baby, but I'm sure people that take crack, they enjoy it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be crackheads.
Yeah, but those things take acceptance. It's like self-actualization, realization, and acceptance. A triangle. I feel like in order for you to self-actualize, that means become what you want to become, you have to go through a stage of realization and acceptance. Realizing, right, what I've been doing has been putting me in this position always. I can't keep doing the same thing. I'm expecting a different outcome. Do you know what they say? People say doing the same thing over and over again, except expecting a different result, is the definition of insanity. And I feel like a lot of people are in that not even that mindset, in that cycle of, like, you know what? You may not be doing the exact same thing you were doing before, but you're making the same mistake differently. That's still making the same mistake. You're not really changing anything. You're just changing how you're doing it. But the outcome is always going to be the same. You're still going to be in the same position. Give an example. Let's say, for example, gym. People that want to be bolo, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say you start going for 1 week. After that, the second week comes. 1 week, you go 5 days a week. The second week, you go 4 days a week. That's cool. You took an extra break. On the third week, if you then go 3 days, that's still all right. You're still going. Fourth week, you go 2. Now you're slacking because you started off on 5 days a week. You dropped down to 4 because you wanted to add an extra rest. That's fine. You went for 3 the week after. All right, then cool. And then the last week, you cut it down to 2. Are you then expecting that person to then go again the next month for another 5 days?
Nope.
Because they haven't reached that stage of, I guess, realizing that the consistency from the first week is what made you want to go for the next week. And then if you had then maintained that consistency that week, yes, you may have been a bit tired, you may have been a bit sore, but that's the whole point of gaining. You then would have continued it for the first week, which would have taken you to that self-actualization stage because you've already accepted that, right? You realize you've already accepted that, right? Now, this is what I need to do to achieve a goal, which would then take you to the next level. But I feel like a lot of people, in a sense, aren't ready for it. Have you been gym?
No. I went like
perfect example,
2 weeks
people.
ago.
Perfect example, people. Yeah.
Realization. I'm not a perfect example. I'm not going gym to be bolo. I'm doing gym.
Yeah, because your head's big enough already.
No, like your
realization. Realization, acceptance, and self-actualization. 1-0.
1-0 what?
1-0.
That's not
2 weeks out of the gym, my people. 2 weeks out of the gym. Is she going next week?
What?
Probably not. Probably not.
If I feel like it. If I don't
that's
feel like
that's a probably not. Slacking. But that's what I mean. No, I'm not saying you in general, but I'm just saying for people.
Fuck you, first of all. Yeah, your bottom lip is slacking.
Impossible. Bottom lip juicy. Anyway, in fact, just for you, I'm gonna apply another swash your lip balm. The sun's not even out no more, but it's still gonna glisten. You know what I mean? Hold on.
I don't want to go to that gym anyway. That gym stinks, bro.
Listen, yeah.
And I actually have to make my effort to go to the gym.
She's been
like the
to
gym is
3
far.
different gyms.
Like, so what?
None of them are good enough.
No, they're not.
I'll go to the girl. I'll go to the girl. I'm telling you now. No, that's gyms unless you join the David Lloyd Club. That's next. Oh no, that's next on the list. I'm telling you, that one for networking. Just in general. In fact, that's what I was gonna say. Also, putting yourself in environments where you're able to, I guess, be around people who are also improving. So that's another big thing. The people I'm around now and the environment that I'm in, I'm always trying. I'm not gonna lie, it's a different kind of hunger. Do you know what I mean? You're waking up every day. I'm doing 6 a.m. gym, feeling like that guy that was running with the blue water. What's his name? Anthony Hall. Unfortunately, I ain't got none of that Santiago, whatever that water's called, the blue one. I ain't got none of that Santiago. We still be using the Tesco one. I don't think anyone wants to be seeing those plastic balls on Instagram, but my one's coming soon. We don't swim at 6. We do a light jog. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like once you get into a routine and you start seeing improvements, I'm not gonna lie, you kind of want to maintain that consistency. But in order to do that, you have to get the ball rolling. You have to hit that point of realization of, right, I want to be better, not just for me, but for my future. Do you know what I mean? And not just my future, but the future of my family too, which is another thing I don't think a lot of people are thinking about. Do you feel like I feel that's probably the one thing that's probably killed society. People don't really see the value in family anymore. Or people in general. Don't see the value in family and people.
I think it just depends on how you was raised.
Yes and no. Going back to the programming. So can you be programmed between the age of 1 and 6? Yes. Say no. You can't say no. You said it depends on how you've been raised. Between the age of 1 and 6 is when you learn the most crucial information.
It's subjective. If you feel like you was programmed, then maybe you were.
It is the truth.
It's up to you, innit? You could be taught to be racist, right? That's a form of programming. So now that's like ingrained in that person to be racist, right? And then they can be like, do you know what? I don't know. They could be like, do you know what? Fuck it. That, like, for example, I'm just gonna give an example. Racist town, racist person, but that was taught, right? But then all of a sudden they fall in love with somebody that's completely outside of their race. Do you get it? And now they have to teach themselves or have to unlearn what they was taught, right? And then fall in love with what they now want, I guess. I don't know.
Starting again.
It is what it is. Everything in life is subjective down to your experience.
That's the one I was gonna say. Because I was gonna say, so then the last thing I wanted to talk about is, let's say, for example, now the reset, right? Because even though we've spoken about realization, self-actualization, and obviously acceptance. In order for all of that to go into place, you kind of then have to then take the next step, which is then implementing these things. Do you feel like it's easy to reset and change your life, or do you feel like
no?
Why? I'll let you go first. Why?
It depends on how. Like, are you doing a hard reset? Or are you doing like just a standard reset? Like,
I'm talking about reset. There's no such thing as a hard or thing. A reset is a reset.
No,
to reset is to start over.
There's okay, but if I reset my computer, like it can come back on, and then my tabs could still be there. And if I do a hard reset, then it's completely started afresh.
Hard reset.
Right, to do a hard reset, that takes planning and that takes execution. That's not easy.
No, it doesn't. I think it takes will. Definitely. It takes a whole lot of will, because I don't think you can plan a reset. Because
yes,
you're changing everything about yourself, so nothing's...
I'm planning a reset, but I'm not going to disclose the plans on my reset. But I know my reset is going to be a hard reset type shit. But at the end of the day, it takes planning and execution. So, that part.
I feel you on that one. So then, when you say, all right, I'm not saying you can plan it, yes, but the outcome isn't absolute, because
it's not meant to be.
It's like I told everyone, I had a hard reset myself. I did that. I'd say I started 2.5 years ago. It took me a solid 1.5 years to have a semblance of an idea of what I wanted to do. Then it took me another 6 months to actually get into that position. And now I'm in that position of where, right, the restart's paid off. I'm in a great position. I know where I want to be, and I can see a future, or a possible future. So I get what you mean, but I didn't plan that. It was more or less a case of, I guess I had more of a will and way, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I knew that I had the will to want to improve and become something better. It was just more or less a case of discovering that way. And I don't feel like you can plan your way to a T, because maybe you can plan the execution, but you can't plan the route itself, because things will top. Like, I didn't expect to be in a lot of the positions that I was in, but who would have thought that those positions I was in would lead me to where I am now? Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I feel like even though you may plan to do this and this and that, there are going to be bumps along the way that you're going to have to be able to deal with that are not a part of the plan, but you're also going to have to be able to accept and realize that, you know what, it ain't how it was. So this might just be how it's going to have to be for the moment.
Type shit.
Spitting bars. Thank you for tuning into this conversation. Would you like to add anything before we finish off?
Nah.
Ooh, kids, start saving your money. I'm sick and tired of seeing you wasting all your peas on all of this nonsense. None of this is going to matter very soon. Designer, fashion, all of this nonsense, they're all going to fall under one flag very, very soon. That's why they're doing their best to flog all of their stuff. Just look at the markets, look at the stock markets, look at where everything is going. Invest in some technology, invest in some gold, silver, minerals and whatnot. And also try and get involved in your community and start building a basis around where you and your family have a network within the society that you live in to be able to live and move freely, which is something I feel like we forget. And your people aren't just black people, all right? Do you know what I mean? Anyone in around your neighbor to your left, to your right, whether they're Muslim, white, whatever, they're all a part of our community, and they can all help you, I guess, excel and become a better part of yourselves in a way that you would never have expected. Trust me. Solidarity is together. We can't achieve or function apart. Trust me, I've seen it, been at it long enough. That stuff's absolute. Anything to say? Oh, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, drop us some comments. Let us know what you think about the return episode. And like I said, I've made it my duty for the rest of this year to give you guys all our consistency. So you're going to be seeing some stuff. I've got an intro working out for you guys as well. So you're going to be able to give us some nice, sweet promo. And yeah, man, it's been the sweetest and dearest co-host you've ever seen and ever heard. The smoothest voice and the butteriest of butteriest tones. Yeah, I like that one.
Well, okay. Anyway.
What are you trying to say? My tone ain't buttery. This is smooth.
Well, I'll let you guys, be the judge of that. But anyway,
What was Mario the wrong way? What we
I hope you enjoyed the return episode. Obviously, it's been a minute,
maybe.
it's been a while, but you know, it's never a long time. Always a good time. And we'll see you guys soon, okay? Big brr. The hostess of the mostest, Big Rose official. You know what the fuck going on. If you don't know, get to know, okay?
The biggest head,
we'll see you next week.
Most definitely. If she's here.
Anyway.
Thank you, Ma. What time is it?